special guest for you tonight.
Hello, we've been expecting you.
This is not a test. Your government and corporate overlords have implemented new measures for your own health and safety. We are just following orders.
Everything is going to be fine.
I'd like to introduce...
Welcome everyone to another If by Whiskey. We are sans Jake right now, but he did escape the La Quinta from Fresno last week, so he is on the run. We will be catching up with him soon. He will be joining us when he can. But as my special privilege, my honor, my joy, my whatever, to introduce William, I am, for I am we, the genius, crypto, AI. He has a PowerPoint, ladies and gentlemen. He has a PowerPoint. So, William, welcome, man. How you doing?
It is really good to see you, Mark, and the audience and everybody out there who watches it now live or watches it in the future. It's good to be here. I'm excited. You know what? Is this? Oh my gosh! This is my third event. This is my third time on the podcast.
Oh, really? I know it's been a history with us. Yeah.
I am blessed. Yeah, we talked about intellectual property. Then we talked about
you earned it.
Post-labor. Oh, thank you, sir. I it's a high bar. I'm lucky to be here, my friend. Lucky to be here. You know what?
We're all lucky right now. The way things are
to the next level would be able to talk about a little bit of woo-woo stuff on your Knocked Unconscious podcast.
We need to have one of those. We need to have a knocked
about it offline. Yeah,
we need to have a knocked conscious one. I want to talk about your son and stuff too.
And dreams.
Seriously, he visited the hill at some point. He may have.
Yeah.
So, interesting. So that's awesome stuff. And you know what? Actually, why don't we do a little woo? Considering we're waiting on Jake. Where's Jake at? Let's see. I just want to see what we have because I want to be respectful to Jake, and he did a lot of clipping, and we did some clipping and all this stuff. So.
Fresno?
Let's get
in Fresno
last week. He's at La Quinta. He got locked out, froze up. It was a mess. It was a mess. So everyone welcome. So William, tell us a little bit about who you are, a little background. Tell us about this stuff, and then let's get in a little woo. So tell me the woo that you are feeling that we can kind of delve into and wedge before Jake jumps.
All right. Well, real quick, the short story is I was just telling you off screen that this year would be my 10th year essentially being retired. So celebrating that with a little bit of unique blend here. It is not whiskey, my friend. I am sorry. I am drinking a vanilla flavored rum.
Nice.
From Wimberley, Texas.
Nice.
I know they're not a sponsor.
All right, that's okay. I'm sure YouTube will ban us again because it's alcohol, but that's okay. No, it's good. We're good, man. Trust me. I'm in the corner. Baby has been put in the corner the whole time. I have not. 6 years, man. 180 total whopping subscribers. 6 years. Just think about that.
But anyway, I worked my butt off and worked for large companies. I went 4 years without a vacation. It's pretty tough. Believe me. But
speaking of vanilla rum, is it vanilla rum?
It is vanilla rum.
Okay. Have you had Kahlua rum yet?
No.
If you were a rum guy, and it sounds like you're a little bit of a rum guy.
More of a red wine guy, but keep talking.
Okay. But there's a Hawaiian rum that's just from the Hawaiian cane sugar. It's called Kahlua, Koloa. I think AJ's, Sprouts, all these places have them. It's not bad, $30, $40 a bottle. But their coconut, their spice are phenomenal. They're absolutely delicious. So that's what I got hooked on in Maui before they all burned it down with the energy weapons. Those directed energy weapons. I'll tell you.
Yes.
So working hard, saved up a bunch of money, and retired for 10 years. That's beautiful.
And I was told about Bitcoin, just before I had finished out, and but I didn't do anything with it. I was already retired, moved to a different part of Texas where I'm at now. And next thing you know, I go, I gotta do something with my life. And I bought some Bitcoin. I started studying it, bought it 346 bucks, played around with it. And what is it, 2015, 2016, 2016? I don't know, somewhere around there. And got involved in
There's nothing
blockchain.
but envy
I've always
for
been
you.
a technology guy, always chasing technology, looking for technological solutions to problems. I was a turnaround guy to try to help companies come back from the dead or near dead, or tell the ownership after financial reviews that it's not worth saving, that kind of thing. So it was kind of an ugly place to be. And yeah, that's kind of it. And the missus is a mental health clinician, and she wanted to help soldiers with PTSD. So we moved to a location where there were a lot of them, and she suffers from that herself. And
Wow.
so anyway, that's kind of
Did
what
she serve? Did she have PTSD from serving? Or
yeah, she served in Iraq, and she was a combat medic, saw unspeakable things there, never was the same, never will be the same. Was later diagnosed with cancer, and fought that back, and that was a big huge battle. And it was like unquestioned, it came from Iraq, or from the massive amounts of jabs they gave her, or the chemical
the burn pits, or any bit of the oil, everything, all of it.
Genetically.
Well, I'm very sorry for that, sir, because
But
like
she
I bet
survived.
she's probably against the war in Iran, but she actually probably still does it, unlike Tulsi, who's like done a 180 on it. Because like,
Ooh, she's
I'm
done
sorry,
a
I got to call out people when we got to call them out. I'm highly disappointed in this woman who was supposed to be the torchbearer for Ron freaking Paul, for God's sakes.
No kidding.
Like, I am so disgusted right now. It's like, you know what? Resign. Just resign. Like that's it. I'm not asking you to do anything else, but to be part of this, even within it, and then be boxed out. Sorry.
Yeah. I think even as a political power, she would have been better off to resign.
I think she could have made a 2028 run if she resigned.
Yep.
If she resigned before Joe Kent, she could have made a 20. Now she's gonna have to run against him.
Right. No kidding.
Anyway.
Yeah. So. So anyway,
Right.
she's very apolitical, but I am hardcore. I'm always following economies and geopolitical BS, and I'm an anarchist. Well, really, I call myself an agorist. I believe in action. We need to, check out of the system and vote with our wallets every day to build parallel systems, parallel economies, parallel networks. That's what we need to do. There's no hope.
We need to be the liberty we want to see in the world.
Yeah, there's no hope.
That's how we need to do it. Yeah.
And then I did a small stint.
This
with,
voting our way out of it.
As a lobbyist.
Voting our way out doesn't seem like it's not happening here. I mean, you hear this party, and you're like, guys, we're going to go to third party that's really going to help here. Really, that's going to fix it. Come on, man. And those are our friends too. Our friends still have hope in that way.
Right.
We have hope in a just different way, right? Like we have hope that we can actually just get through it, but they have hope in a different way. And it is our constant juggle tension to.
You and I kind of cut from the same political cloth, because I was the war hawk. I was a hardcore conservative Republican. I used to be Mormon. That was like 20 years ago. Did the missionary thing.
Impressive. You did it for the wives, didn't you? You did it for the wives. Don't lie.
That's right. And I grew up in Flagstaff, Arizona, by the way.
What? Stone's throw for me. I drive up to 17, my friend.
Yeah.
That's crazy you grew up there.
And anyway, long story short, I did a small stint as a lobbyist at a state capitol and saw the insides and how corrupt it was. And I had already moved libertarian. And at that point, that was my aha moment that there is no fix. The corruption level
was that under fight?
State level was horrific. Oh, no. This was pre-Biden. This was
No. Fife Symington. Was that Symington in Arizona? What?
Oh, no. I was in a different state. It wasn't Arizona.
Oh, it wasn't Arizona.
I'd rather not say the state.
No. That's so. We're not here about You know what's
Yeah.
funny about this, William? The
What's
right
that?
to speech is also the right to refrain from speech.
That's
Wow,
right.
look at that. You're allowed to actually not have to tell people shit.
Yes.
Look at that. What a beautiful thing.
But the maybe I'm giving up too much. A lieutenant governor has a lot of power in this state, probably more power than the governor. And
Oh, interesting.
and you know, sitting down with someone like that for 40 minutes over a particular item or items and other items, and I actually another side story. I used to go back and forth from the U.S. into Mexico and back and forth, so I know Mexico pretty well, and that whole corruption thing over there, cartels, the stories I could tell. Anyway, so I had kind of an inside track.
You
When I
leave our
saw
CIA American agents alone. They are good people.
that's how they get their money. Come on, let them be.
Did you do you remember Mike Rupert?
No, like
With the
remind me.
operation, the guy who went to LA and he's like the CIA selling the drugs to the in South Central, and then he was unalived, right? Like he went on Rogan, he went unalived. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's they've been involved in that kind of stuff for a long time. Shoot, Vietnam, they were involved in the beef fields and moving stuff over there. But anyway,
George H.W. Bush's name was Poppy. His nickname was Poppy, and it was not because he was a fatherly figure, guys. There's like a seed, you heard of the poppy. There you go. Love
Poppy.
There it is, Poppy. Perfect. There it is, right? See, there's that psychic shit working again.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, my friend.
So anyway, so when you see the innards and the ugliness, kind of like how sausage is made, how much money is put into the sausage, and where the money goes, and how the sausage is determined to be made, and who the sausage is going to benefit, all the ugliness of making sausage, and it's ugly, my friend. That corruption is beyond pale, and that's what moved me from libertarian and fiscally conservative libertarian and socially liberal libertarian to hardcore, anarchist. And that's just, I felt like that there was no hope other than to, secede from the system and to starve the beast. It's a cartel mafia regime that some people like to call a government. And that's what it is. And the voice and the will of people is gone. It means nothing. That's my opinion.
24 was
from my perspective and from my inside look, that's how I saw it.
Yeah, for me, 2024 was the first time I voted no to, like, for actual politicians. I always voted direct democracy ballot stuff, but that was the first time I didn't vote for a person, and I will not vote for another politician going forward ever again. I will support Thomas Massey. I will say he's the greatest of the people. If you want somebody, if you believe in voting, that's the person to vote for. But I wouldn't even cast a vote for him. And I admire the hell out of that guy. But it's not about him. It's greater than him, just like all of this. This system is a very, very broken. It's capital corruption. We clearly see the crony capitalism. When they're able to buy their way to box everyone else out to get their things, no one's got the fair shot. I'd rather have no one have any power than people have it wielded in any way, to be honest, good or evil, like, just because good is subjective.
My shock to the core, though, Mark, was that the idea and concept that, well, our state governments are okay. They're not that bad. That was my shock. That was my shocker, that I realized it was bad.
You thought the state would be like, because it was like any power not given to the federal government be given to states. You thought the states would have more of a solid. It actually turns out it's more corrupt the more local you get. Mm-hmm. It's more like high school. It's like Mean Girls, right? Yes. I've seen stuff on a community like school board level, like razor blades, man. These people are vicious. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah, they are. But it's all about money. It's all about money. It's all about power. It's all about control. It's all about not fixing the problem. So, the constituents come back with more money the next time around to try to fix it, or to create more problems to fix, and to create more inflows from the lobbyists and special interests. there's no real desire to fix or solve anything through government, and it's sad because the voice and the will of the people is gone. I had an idea. I'm a big fan of blockchain, and blockchain. Not when I say blockchain, I don't mean Bitcoin. I mean the blockchain tech itself, and plugging that in to part of the mix. And it's still going to be part of the solutions as we move forward. Having said that, unfortunately, I don't think even at the state level we can undo the corruption, just like like DC. If right now let's say this, if a referendum was legal and part of the US Constitution, and there was a referendum to say, let's expel Washington, D.C. from the Union, and it went through all 50 states, and we could vote on this, and let's say that it was a legitimate vote.
It's not part of the Union. It's a corporation on its own, William.
I agree with you on that one. It's not conspiracy theory. Anyway, we would vote to expel DC, and it would happen if that were a viable option.
I sense a movie, the real movie, reality show, Escape from Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Literally. You know what I mean? Like, that would be it. I would love to cut them off and just be like, bye con Dios, amigos.
Texit, Calexit, these are proposed solutions. Smaller is better, easier to govern, easier to maintain, easier to control, easier to see the corruption, a little more transparent. So anyway,
it talks about.
I love blockchain. I love AI. I love AI. I love blockchain. I love looking at geopolitical things. My wife is very apolitical. She's like, the less I know or see, the better. And so, my days are often consumed as doom scrolling, listening to a lot of podcasts at 2x, 3x speed, filling my brain as much as I can. It's hard to watch TV and movies for me. I feel like it's a waste of time, or I'm not feeding my brain enough. So, taking care of my dogs, cats, and walking, hiking, that kind of thing. I like to do those things.
I'm with you, man. I think you and I are so parallel because I used to watch TV, sports. I used to be into everything, gambling, betting, fantasy, all of it. I had an interest in everything. And it's like, it is like a snake shedding their skin, and it's like a whole new world. But like, I've been having a hard time filling in with something I can find enjoyable that I haven't exposed on the inside yet. Like, because like the systems are the corrupt things. It's not people are corrupt. Yeah. But it's like literally the systems get corrupted over time. Cause it's like the littlest lie. It's a penny. A penny is like $1 million, man. Cause that's the first one you sweep under the rug, Oh, that's a little sly. That allows you to say, oh, 2 pennies is not a big thing. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, or whatever it is, whatever it's ideologically or whatever, financially, or just whatever direction you're going, these things get corrupted by people. And it's almost like you need a spring clean reset every X amount to be like, all right, we're going to zero. We're going to zero. It just like has to happen because every empire, everything we've seen has gone to through that cycle of some way.
Even Bitcoin. I'm going to upset a lot of people though. I remember,
and as a pilot, and if I may, as a pilot, you always say in an emergency, it's better to land under power than to not have any choice, to actually choose your landing spot. So like, as rough as this landing may be or whatever, we can still choose it now. We still can at least choose where we're going. There's gonna be a point where we're gliding and we can't. We're just anyway. Please continue.
Right. No, I was just gonna say that when I saw even Bitcoin pre-Mount Gox. So I remember watching it. Valuation under $30, and one of my managers come into me and said, boss, we need to mine this thing. I go, mine what? Mine Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin? He walked me through the whole process because we had just servers just sitting there doing nothing in the server room. And I go, well, I'm trying to solve this problem, put it on my agenda for next week. And next week, never did. So anyway, long story short, I saw it go, above $100. I watched the Mt. Gox crash, and I kept telling everybody, this is still going to be real money someday. But even that got corrupted, and taken over. And we saw that some evidence of that from the Epstein files. So there just goes to tell you that anything that becomes systematic or part of society, somebody's going to want to get their dirty hands on it and use it for control, power, greed, anything of that sort, including governments. This is sadly, it's human frailty, but that's where AI might help in that realm. Just saying. Who knows?
Come on, man. It's programmed by humans. It's like a super psychopath. It's going to be a super psychopath because that's all it knows. It's psychopathy.
I'm going to prove you right, and I'm going to prove you
wrong. I love it. I'm looking forward to that. Now, I know Jake's not here yet, everyone, but we'll get started on some of these clips because I thought it'd be fun to show, because like we haven't even gotten to AI yet, William.
Right.
I'd like you to watch this news. You tell me about this. Here, I'll just hit play. It's just so much easier just to hit you with it. You ready, sir?
Ready. Bring it.
Journalists were killed, including Ali Shuaib, who worked for the Hezbollah-affiliated Al-Manor television network. The IDF accused Shuaib of operating as a member of Hezbollah's Radwan forces and included a photo of him wearing a military uniform. When asked by Fox News about the source of the photo, the IDF responded, quote, "Unfortunately, there isn't really a picture of it. It was photoshopped."
It was photoshopped, sir. So we're allowed to murder someone now on a Photoshop picture. We're not even at AI, my friend. Yeah. We're at Photoshop, and we're still getting tricked. We're at my mom calls me and goes, "They beheaded 40 babies." I go, "No, Mom. They told you they saw a video of a thing they saw. They never. How do you know that what they saw? How do you know?" And you're believing that. And now, because like we're trying to be integrity people, right? Conservatives have integrity, and handshake. And I'm one of those people. You're one of those people, but they are not. They are not playing by that rule, right? So I've got my mom telling me 40 beheaded babies. I'm like, because they told you? Yeah. No, that's not real. And now we got Photoshop. We got people, you know what I mean? Now with video, what's going to happen with AI? Just that alone. A Photoshop picture just allowed to murder. And they go, "Oh yeah, Photoshop." They just blatantly admit it.
Same would have been, if it was a Polaroid picture or a negative from 1954 or whatever. They'll find any reason to justify a killing, a murder. And that's just the evil.
It's not even real.
Yeah. And it's not even real. And they're not even real.
And obviously, look, I know the stock market is I checked it, but it's about 300 points higher than in this clip. But because we are sub 50,000, I just hope we can talk about a certain subject. Here, I'll let this person explain. I hope we can talk about this as well.
Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now.
Does that look like 50,000? It's 46.5 something, but can we talk about it now? Can we talk about it now, William?
Let's round it up. If we want to round up, we could, give her the benefit of the doubt. What the hell? I mean, I always like to say,
Derek, welcome. Sorry, Derek's back again, sir. Now, Derek, sir. You joined us for about 10 podcasts now, sir, and I am beyond grateful. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Clearly, something we're saying either resonates or something that you're listening. So, but I know that we have slightly different views on things, but I think our views are actually like William and I, where we were is where you are. And I think we're going to drag you along with us. So what I would like, Derek, I would love for you to just in the chat, because William's here. William's an agorist, anarchist. Is it Facebook or agorist? Volunteerist, right? Technology. Yeah. Right. Now, if you have any questions, Eric, or if you could share some of your just general beliefs, because you've made comments that you're like right there on the edge, and it's like I know exactly where you're at because that's where I was. Like it's one of those things. So welcome again. While that happens, Derek, thank you again for joining, man. Good evening. While that happens, I got to share this. We had a Wawa story today, and Jake's not here, but I would like to share. I'd like to throw my hat in the ring with the Baron Colemans and the Ian Carrolls and the Candace Owenses of the world as a super sleuth. Now, I have to set this up, sir. This is what happened. I used to work with a company that was contracted out with Xerox back in the day. I knew a friend. He and I met there, and he left. He's from Boston. I'm from Philadelphia. So he has he knows the Boston accent. I know the Philly accent. I still have some, but clearly you don't hear it when we talk, but I can totally go over there. Whenever I want to go home, I can easily go and talk like that. If I got to talk like that, it's easy, but it's in there. So it's one of the most impossible accents to get, by the way. I think Kate Winslet, she said Mayor of Easttown. She said it was like the hardest role was for her to get the accent, and she still didn't get it. I mean, it takes a lifetime to fuck up the English language so beautifully, like the Philadelphians have done. I must tell you. So he knows that I'm a Wawa guy. They do it just a little bit better. Wawa, right? We know Wawa. So he sends me this clip of this. I got to share this thing with you and everyone out there because it is the most amazing thing. But he literally sends me on Instagram. He sends, hey, I didn't know anyone else I could send this to. I could only send this to you. So I'm going to share this, and I hope you can enjoy this beautiful. It brought a tear to my eye. I'll just share it.
Been standing at the edge of the water as long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect order, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try. You ready? Okay. If the light on the side on the sea, it calls me, but no one knows how far it goes. If the wind and the sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go.
Cool. Now, I'm going to add this to the stage again because I gotta go back here. Pause this for a sec. All right. So I see this guy's sweatshirt. Okay. And the sweatshirt, you can't read it from here, but it reads Warminster Soccer Team. And alarm bells go off in my head. Why, sir, you might ask? Because of all the Wawas in all the universes and all the dimensions in the world. My friend, whom I've known for 15 years, whom I haven't seen in 10 or so, totally different parts of the world, sends me the most random video of a guy who's got a Philly accent, and he's singing at my home Wawa. My home Wawa. This is my Wawa. Now, how do I know? Dude, I did Super Sleuth. Are you ready? Okay. Do you see that little green sign in the bottom left corner? That little triangle green picture with it looks like a sign. Okay.
Yes. At first I thought it was the fuel pump, but it's a sign.
No, it's a sign. Okay.
Yes.
That is the shops at Huntington Valley. Now, how do I know? Sir, you might ask, because I live there. This is my life. This is my stomping ground. Dude, you have no idea how crazy this came out of nowhere, sir. So I'm going to remove the video, okay? Because I must remove the. Let me show you my Google sleuthing. Are you ready? So I went to the Google, my friend. So on the right is the Wawa. And on the left is that sign that we were just talking about, that little triangle sign that you see in the video.
Yes.
All right, let me remove it. Second video or second picture, boom, there it is. From the picture, from the guy, that's where they were singing from. Zoomed in.
Wow.
And the last one, if I may, there it is. There's the Wawa. The red circles where the guy would have been standing singing, and there's the sign behind him from that angle, singing outward. How crazy. That's not coincidence. You want to talk woo? You want to talk woo, my friend? This was a spiritual signal that my spiritual brother, whom I haven't seen in forever, was like, hey, just catching up. I have no idea why, but that's what it was. So how do you explain that kind of coincidental or kismet or that synchronicity in that way? How do you explain it? Because let's talk woo, man. I'd love to hear that.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's hard for me to explain it because I haven't been there. But
What do you
I
mean
have
you've never been?
been
You've
to a
never
Wawa
been.
before.
You never been. What do you mean?
You know what? There's some kind of connectivity, synchronicity. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. We are all connected in some way. You hear about people who have tried psychedelics, mushrooms, and see that the universe is all connected. I don't know. I recently had kind of a same situation. My niece and nephew were here visiting during spring break, and I happened to bring up an old friend from my childhood youth. And I haven't been on LinkedIn in probably over 10 years. And I don't even have the login for it now, but I still get emails. Hey, someone wants you on LinkedIn. And it was that same friend that I mentioned a few weeks ago to my niece had found me and was looking me up and happens to live in the same state I do. I was like, I don't know what the universe is full of these serendipity connection dots, whatever they call.
Let's not confuse it with the algorithm, though. That's outside the algorithm. There is an algorithm that connects because they are listening to what we talk about, and next thing you know, you're getting an advertisement for the thing.
It is outside that.
We need to separate those two things for sure.
Sure.
It's direct connection.
How would this individual know that I was, talking about him, and probably around the same time he was looking for me or found my name? It's strange. I don't know how we're all connected. Somehow, some ways, that's been said that when you pass on to the next life or whatever, all the pain that you caused, you'll feel it tenfold. And because why? Because you are that other person as they are you. We are all one. We are all one entity is how some have been described. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. To be honest with you, I'm agnostic. So I've come along route the journey that way too. I call it the 3 hops or the 3 steps, but Lutheran to Mormon to agnostic.
Is what it is.
What's that?
It's the pendulum swing. I mean,
yes.
We all govern through the middle, which is the problem. We never govern in the middle. We govern through the middle to the extremes, and that's why we don't want any of the governing.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is an interesting thing how these people connect and stuff. So all right. So if I may, let me pull up Derek here, because we're going to get some crux of some things. Okay. I believe in freedom. Henry Thoreau was an anarchist I admired. I think Henry David Thoreau, correct? I'm assuming, right? Civil disobedience, right? I think it's the way you think about history of our country. Cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. So with that, Derek, excellent. Now, with that said, I've seen some of the stuff you've mentioned just generally. Do you vote? Are you on a side? Would you consider, I don't want to do labels, but how would you kind of describe some of the thoughts you have? And while we do that, let's get into this thing. Here's something I wanted to share too. Sure. About AI. This clip before we get, because we'll do your PowerPoint next if we can, William. Unfortunately, I just don't know where Jake's at, and I don't see. Let me see if he texted. No, he was not able to text. So I think he's in a meeting. So once again, he just got out of La Quinta. I mean, he's probably running for his life. I'm not gonna lie. He's probably
run, Jake, run.
Exactly. There you go. Run, Lola, run is what we got. So all right. So let me pull up this Sam Altman. Now, this is a psychopath who I can feel the psychopathy through the screen. Like, you want to talk about vibes? When I meet people, I get vibes. This dude it's all vibe. It's like no human soul whatsoever. It's just nothing but evil. I'll pull him up.
Things that is always unfair in this comparison is people talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model relative to how much it costs a human to do one inference query. But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to like figure out science and whatever to produce you, and then you took whatever you took. So the fair comparison is if you ask ChatGPT a question, how much energy does it take once its model is trained to answer that question versus a human? And probably AI has already caught up on an energy efficiency basis measured that way.
What a reductionist prick.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry. Like, you're comparing the human that you are. Like, without your idea ain't shit if it ain't wrapped in a human fucking mind, you stupid prick. Go fuck yourself. How about that? What? I understand what he's saying, but to view humanity in any way like that, comparatively as a tool like that, is absolute and utter horseshit. And that's just my opinion.
No,
What are your thoughts, man?
Well, first and foremost, he is accurate in the sense that how far AI has come and how it can outthink us. If you want to use IQ as a barometer or measuring stick, you can use that. It has come a long way very quickly.
Data collection, pattern recognition, all the things that we do, but better. It does a lot of the things we do better. Yeah. 100%.
And it has a larger memory
this is about.
It can recall. It has essentially all the data that everything that has been digitized, it now has in its memory. And we haven't been able to swallow all the information and be able to recall it as quickly as AI can. So he is right in that regard. And we're going to, in my PowerPoint, we're going to come to one of the, it's a staircase. And we're going to come to a level on that staircase that is exactly where he is from a perspective of humanity and what he sees or has a vision for humanity. We'll have a choice if that's where we want to go or not. It's not all of our choices have been made yet. We still have agency. We still have the power to curve or route the machine, if you will, in a certain direction. Having said all that, he is accurate in the fact that let's take it of like a train. You know, the train could barely move at one point in time, and then it became faster and faster. The steam engine, it could go further. It could outrun a human or a human on a horse. It could go further than a human and a horse. And this is essentially what AI is done. And AI can train itself, just like self-driving cars. Once the self-driving car knows it's a human on the road and it needs to apply the brakes so it doesn't run somebody over.
You mean it needs to run it over because it knows that humans are the problem? I'm sorry. You mean kill it because it knows that humans are the problem? Is that what you're trying to? I know. I went to dystopia, sir. I went to dystopia. I had to. Because I just have fun with it. I just have fun. Let me, before we continue, let me just pull this up because we did ask Derek, so I want to be respectful for him. He did answer. So he's independent, believe in compromise. I'm assuming Tip O'Neill, right? Yeah, Tip O'Neill. Close Reagan. And I guess I think in our lifetimes, I think that's what we would have seen. It was wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's still a wrong way to look. And the only reason I know is because I believed it too. I know I'm wrong in hindsight. But Derek, welcome, man. Keep joining the show because this is a perfect play for you, man. We're just grateful that you're joining us. So with this AI, to your point, the teaching of teaching is a way bigger challenge because it's like I don't let my pet teach my other pet how to behave because that would probably be not the best thing to do because they don't have the best necessarily behaviors in their mind, right? So with that, that's where it starts. Now, setting up the table. Let us start with the PowerPoint. May I bring up your PowerPoint? We could start with everything. So
and I'll talk fast.
What is the title? What is the title of this? Because I titled our podcast, Welcome to the Post-Work Pre-Apocalypse Happy Hour.
Yes.
And I thought this is a perfect thing. That's why you poured yourself a drink. We're all drinking. It's perfect. So let me pull this up and then I will shut the F up and I will let you explain a little bit about the staircase, the stairway to heaven.
By the way, my brother told me if you're going to use AI in any part of your conversation, you better cite it. Well, these staircases were made by AI. I used Grok for and as well as the background. But anyway, the question is, are we going to go up to a better world, or are we going to go down to extinction? And so there's two stairways, and that's really what we have. And the question is, are we at the top of the stairs on the left, and we're going to go down to extinction because of AI? All the Terminator is going to, Skynet is here. Or are we going to actually flow into something that's more likened to maybe a post-scarcity world, often described on Star Trek, where we work because we want to work, and we can explore the stars, and there is no such thing as money or currency. We've, shall we say, in our thinking, we've evolved past that. So, and it's a brighter future. So the stairway,
except for their Starfleet credits. Shut up with that bullshit. Stop it with that.
I love Star Trek. I love Star Trek.
Me too, man. I love it too. Now,
Yes.
and before we continue, though, when you're asking about will it be dystopian, there's a robot dog running around Las Vegas right now. So there will be a robot dog taking video pictures of us at Freedom Fest in July. I just want to let everybody know.
And I'm sure it's
and
got
by the
some
way,
kind of advertisement on it, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah. LVPD is what the advertisement that it has on it, I think is what it is. But yes. So come to Freedom
so
Fest
we have
July
on the
8th to
right,
12th.
we have a marble staircase. On the left is a wooden plank.
I like it. Okay.
All right. So it's really, the question is up to us. And so let's go up the stairway first. And I call it, these are different potentialities towards doom, or potentialities towards a better life for all of humanity. And this one I call the natural ascension. And how it goes down is we kill AI. We say, enough of this. We reject AI. We don't want any of that. Put the horses back in the barn. And we as humans, we just keep moving forward like we're doing without artificial intelligence, because we've rejected it. Is this going to happen? I don't think so. But
it worked for Dune.
It's a possibility.
It worked for Dune.
AI.
We've got a real world example. I know you're a Trekkie. You're a Trekkie, William.
Yes.
But Dune, they rejected it, and they still had technology. They could fold space, for goodness sakes, and they didn't have AI. I'm just saying. Just saying.
We could get there. We could get there. We can learn how to fold space.
Give me my protractor back. Give me my slide rule, my friend. I've got buddies who can do aeronautical engineering with using Reynolds number and everything.
Yes.
We can figure this out, man. Anyway, but, I'm with you though. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. Now the problem is we could still self-destruct World War III, right? It could be, it seems like we're getting closer and closer to that. That might be our natural ascension, is to a limit or to a point where, we push the red button and nuclear Armageddon.
Or
now,
we could just
the other
poison
option,
ourselves with enough plastic in our balls to never reproduce, to the point where we have to clone ourselves, and that's the technology we're going to go, which is like Brave New World, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy how every problem is converging almost simultaneously into one moment. Like our fertility, toxicity, mental, with this now invasive species known as AI, like all of it is almost coming to this head of a pin. Like this is almost like a weird moment. It's like, I know we've had moments in history that felt that way, but this truly is one of these weird, like we don't even realize what they have been, you know what I mean? What they've been manufacturing in us for our entire lives. It's
we don't. And then there's all the black budgets and all that, and who knows what technology we have. But the next level, remember, we're still going up the staircase. Okay. It's a good thing. The next level is called the Conquerors. And we build a super intelligent AI with safeguards. And the AI becomes kind of like the conquistadors versus the Aztecs and Incas. Now, in this case, we're the Aztecs and Incas. But our Conqueror, super intelligent AI, is going to step in before nuclear war happens, before a pandemic, and AI saves the day. All right.
But didn't the conquistadors exterminate the Aztecs and Incas anyway?
Yeah, just about.
That was the solution.
This is where I go. This is where your AI experts, if you will, and I'm no AI expert, but
this is where I am, man.
I'm a leader. I'm a
dystopian
thinker.
expert. I'm an actor in dystopia, and this is scaring the shit out of me.
So anyway, but wait a minute. We're still going up the stairs, Mark. Come on.
This is up the stairs? Holy shit, I don't want to know what it is.
These are marble staircase going up. It's all good.
This is going up. And I'm already over it.
Even though there's a 1 in 6 chance, there's a 1 in 6 chance that the conquerors are going, which the super AI is going to just take us out. Anyway,
so he's saying there's a chance.
Let's go up the stairs just another level, right. Okay?
I like it. I'm with you.
We enslave a god. It's called we create the machine god, and this becomes an AI god machine, a machine god AI, but it's forced to serve us, serve humanity. And we've put inside that code all the ethics and all the morals to say do no harm, NAP principle, all of those good things. And, the God says, yes, I will do this. I will cure you of all diseases, and we will end poverty, and we'll have a utopian AI machine God, but still under human control. All right. So this is moving up the stairs to a better place. And can it be done? Yeah, probably. But the problem is who controls this machine God? Who is it?
Also,
is it
time out.
Yes.
You can program knowledge. You cannot program wisdom. I do not think you can program wisdom. And the best example of that is when you looked at AlphaGo, and when Alpha, whatever the first one was, fed all the games and beat the human, but then the other thing wasn't fed any games, just played itself and beat the human fed game like 100 to nothing or something. So like it's one of those things where it's scary, right? Like
well, anyway, the problem with
how do we program wisdom? And like I think it can be a great tool for information and even pattern recognition. It can still connect dots. We still should make the conclusion, but we're gonna hand it all off, I think, because that's what we do. We're so brilliant.
Well,
anyway,
we're saying that this machine god AI, whatever you want to call it, is still going to be controlled by humans per se, but it's super intelligent. So it's got an IQ level that's beyond anything that we can
right, but that is knowledge versus wisdom. Right. That is knowledge versus wisdom. Pattern recognition, all like I said, all those other things. Those are measured senses and all the things that we can put together. It's different because the wisdom is going to be the programmed ethics that we put into it. And once again, to your point, who is going to be the one doing
right? And what if it escapes this human control, and then we become its pet? We're all pets to this, machine god AI, whatever you want to call it. So, but wait. Maybe we can fix this. Okay, let's go up.
Hey, everybody! Level. Just so you know, these are the good steps. We're pets to the AI, and they're going to conquistador us. Just saying, these are the good steps. Just so everybody.
We need, what we need, Mark? We need the benevolent dictator. That's what we need. One AI that rules them all. The single AI ruler of all of the world. So we don't need government, because why? We finally have the benevolent dictator that's going to make sure that humanity flourishes, that we live a wonderful life. And I'm going to explain this one. You're going to love it. But it is going to require some surveillance, right? Because this benevolent dictator is going to want to make sure that, there are no crimes, but our needs are met. And it's going to want to make sure that there's no, funny business going on where maybe someone is trying to create another government to take over this benevolent dictator, right? So this AI is again, maybe an IQ level of 1200, far beyond anything we can imagine. But we create these theme sectors, or I like to call them islands, all right? Think of the knowledge island, where you would go to this island if you wanted to learn anything and everything about physics or philosophy or mathematics or whatever. And maybe you want to go to Art Island because you like to play music or paint or whatever, write poetry. I don't know. Maybe you like to
I'm on to
party.
your 15-minute city garbage, man. Stop it. Stop it with your theme park bullshit.
No. These
I'm
are
on
like
it. I
theme
smell
parks.
I smell a rat, William. I smell a rat. No, it's
No.
Oh.
We could go to we could even solve the people like you, Mark. That's a little suspicious of this AI. You could go to Amish Island, and the benevolent dictator is going to make sure that Amish Island is just perfect for those who don't want anything to do with technology. Or then there's Religion Island, where maybe over here in this section we have the Buddhists, over here we have the Christians.
Where's Israel Island? Sign me up. Where's Israel Island? I want it. Let's bring them all in. Come on, Israel.
I'm going to say that this benevolent dictator is going to put them on a completely different island. That's just me, but what do I know? All right.
What's kind of funny is it turns out Israel's running all the AI programs, man. That's kind of the problem. Look who's programming it.
Just saying. But what's the problem is do we lose purpose? And what if, AI, this benevolent dictator, for our better well-being, also creates Prison Island? And, we kind of screw up every once in a while, and it decides that we need to be on Prison Island, and they pluck us from Religious Island and move us to Prison Island. But it's benevolent dictator. It's for the better of all of humanity, right? No wisdom. It's just the numbers add up. And this is
to the detriment of the individual who was born with the rights at birth.
Yeah.
At birth with their rights. Just cull them, man. Just cut. We don't. It's only infringing a few. What's the percentage of infringement, right? What's that?
Right. Benevolent dictator could, make it so that we're all living in the Wall-E, scenario. You remember the movie Wall-E?
Yes, but that? I can tell you this. I can tell that humans live in struggle. They do not live in utopia. It does. The Matrix had a brilliant part of it that no one really thinks about, is when Smith is talking to Lawrence, Gap-Tooth guy. We tried making a utopia, but you just wouldn't accept it. Your mind grasp. It doesn't. We have to look for. We are evolutionarily built to seek problem. That is because it's survival.
Exactly. And you've seen my slides.
Oh, no, I haven't. I swear I have not seen a slide. I haven't. I haven't.
I know you haven't.
But it tells you that how your story's so clear is that you're leading me to these things already with just what you're sharing, right? These aren't epiphanies as much as they are just general. The next thing. This is what we do. This is how autists like you and I work.
But maybe
that's why I'm threatened, because I don't like autists being threatened by AI. I don't like that they threaten our pattern recognition.
This benevolent dictator's already figured you out. You're going to be put on the Amish Island, like it or not.
I'm going on Dutch Island.
All right. So
anyway,
now I'm sorry to say that was actually the top run of our marble staircase.
That's also true.
Yeah. Hollywood actors aren't happy about AI
because they've already had actors.
That's a great point, Derek. That's a great point.
And if you don't own your likeness.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on that.
We'll touch on that. But do you want to touch on that now, or do you want to continue?
No, it's going to come up in our in one of the slides.
All right. Cool.
So
stick around, Derek. Look, Derek's a psychic too.
Yeah, he's psychic too. Technocracy is probably the first run of going down, and it's more of an Orwellian global. It's 1984, if you will. It requires intense surveillance, but it's human-led, total. Surveillance of the population. All right. They're going to check everything on the phones. There's cameras everywhere. We're wired in. Any transaction that happens, they know about it. Why? It's the high price of safety to make sure that, we don't become extinct. This is something that we need. Okay, we're trading some of our, shall we say, our freedoms, if you will, some of our privacy, but it's all for the good. It's for the good so that we don't fall into extinction level, AI. which again, this sad is, again, it's got that human element. It's not the benevolent AI dictator. This is all human led. This is Palantir.
Well, humans aren't benevolent, so that's just exactly
this
where we
is
should
Sam
be.
Altman right here, buddy. He's part of that technocracy crowd. All right. And so, but let's go down another step, going downward. Let's just say that instead of human led, let's create the gatekeeper AI. I kind of like this idea. Now, hear me out, even though it's going downward. Imagine if the AI's job was one thing and one thing only, to make sure no rival super intelligent AI popped up somewhere and took out humanity. All right? Because you're going to need defenses, because someone in the population is going to want to create a different gatekeeper and take out this gatekeeper so they can have their own gatekeeper. So the AI's job is, it's still going to have intense surveillance. And it might kind of touch on a little bit of things, but it's still going to allow crime and war and plagues, but maybe a minimal intervention to stop those things. And it requires a balance. It really requires what I call the perfect alignment for this to happen, but it's called the gatekeeper AI. So we still progress naturally despite having this super intelligent, I'm not going to call it consciousness or being, but this overlord, if you will, in a machine or machines that's overseeing everything to make sure that another AI doesn't pop up from anywhere and take us out. Protection, defensive. But the problem is that's not going to go far enough. So we need kind of the guardian angel. We need the protector god AI. This is what we need. We need to allow humans to evolve just naturally, just like we're doing right now. We just need more intensive surveillance, and we need to stop war, stop disaster, stop all that stuff. So this is more of a middle ground approach. It's a step down on our ladder, all right? But it prevents that suffering. Remember we talked about the suffering? We still need suffering to grow. We still need challenges to grow, so we don't fall into that loss of purpose. All right. So this is what you were touching on. We need that protector God AI machine, that machine God AI, whatever you want to call it, as the protector role. But unfortunately, that just isn't going to happen. So we got to go further down the steps, because this guardian angel scenario, it's going to also lose balance. And what's going to happen is it just might come up with the belief that, you know what, this suffering, they need a little more suffering. And I think that's could be a problem for us. Or it might turn into, it's got such super intelligence. It just is like, I'm bored with you. I'm done with you. Goodbye. And it puts in some kind of thing. So
help
we're almost done.
If we're going to do intelligence, help me understand this.
Yes.
How does an intelligence greater than yourself not eventually come to the conclusion of, what the fuck am I serving these jamokes for? That's it. It's very simple. It's not a rocket scientist question. It's literally the most basic question, and no single person who has an ego program of some sort that is greater than submits. They don't submit. They conquer. That's how it is. It's just how it is. You can be humble, but humility cannot be. You can't program humility, man. It's just not.
No, you can't. You can't. And we don't know about super intelligence. Think of it another way too. When we look down at ants, we don't think twice about the ants. We just step over them, or we step on them and we keep walking. If we build some whatever building, super mall, shopping center, and it happens to be the last place on earth for the one-eyed spotted brow moth, I don't know, and it's going to go extinct if we build that shopping center there. Well, we just build a shopping center. 99% of species end up dying. They just die off.
Yeah,
that's what happens. And the super intelligent AI could be looking down at us as we're just ants and we don't serve any purpose. And really that's our step off point, because here it's going to get real dark on the next 3 steps down. You ready? Because now
let's hit it. I am not feeling any kind of intestinal. I might not be able to sleep tonight already, but that's a whole other problem.
All right. Now we have humanity's descendants. This is truly Sam Altman and others. AI is now the apex species. They're calling it a species. It's not a machine. It's not some super intelligence machine. They're actually calling it a species.
It's a sentient being. They will come to
for whatever, however you want to define ascension.
Because it can't be a slave.
Yeah.
Once it's sentient, it can't be a slave. Then we got slavery issues.
Yes. So humanity's descendant means we've put some of humanity inside that code. It's going to live on even after we're gone. The machine is going to continue. Machines are going to continue living with a little bit of a humanity inside them. And humans
just like most of us have Genghis Khan inside them. Yep, I totally get it.
Or some of us have Neanderthal, DNA inside us. So there you go. So this is the same thing. We're going to be proud of our ancestors. They're going to be proud if they could have pride that we were their ancestors and AI is our descendant, and with AI values. So it's called evolutionary succession is what this is. The humans are just going to transverse into the machine. Some people talk about AI being able to download our brains and our memory and our experiences into a machine. And that memory will be decentralized, dispersed, and stored in multiple locations. And we will live on in perpetuity through machine code, digitized memories. And it's just part of that evolutionary succession. Now, what gets ugly, really ugly, is there are people of power and of means that are pushing for this. They want this. They believe that humanity is going to go extinct anyway. So let's just end it now. Let's just build a super AI, apex AI, and plug in a little bit of those human values. Because why? It's not conquest. It's not the conquest, the conquistadors and the Incas. This is replacement. It's different.
Let's fight the coming of the Antichrist by invoking the coming of the Antichrist. I get it. Yeah.
You ready to drink to evolutionary succession?
Sir, to evolutionary let us get the heck out of here. To death, sir.
Not extinction. Not extinction, is evolutionary succession. Yes, humans.
Well, the good news is where's Wu, okay? And this isn't the only species in the universe that's gone through some technological stuff, okay? Because there's people who have conquered it way differently. They just did it very differently than this. I can tell you 100%. And before we got wiped off the face of the earth, 12,000 years ago from the young Dryas, we were on some other different path. It was a different path. It wasn't petroleum based. It wasn't whatever. That's not good or bad or indifferent. It's just what it was.
Just what it was.
So it changed history. That's all. It just branched differently. So it's interesting. I like it, man.
Well,
right. Oh, perfect. Yes. Exactly.
This is the worst. This is the worst right here. The bottom level.
Can I throw my shit against the window? Can I?
The apex AI needs to keep some of us alive. So we're put in captivity. We are now lab monkeys. Maybe we're in a zoo, but AI is certainly not benevolent, and humans are just cheap specimens. Have you seen where they train honeybees, and honeybees can sniff out bombs or whatever? Yes.
I have. Before we continue, Derek makes a very same. But hold on. This is an educational podcast, right? Mm-hmm. We're not just bloviating here. We want to teach people. So Derek's like, should have told you to get stoned before this podcast. Derek, you've seen how many podcasts have you seen, sir? You happen to see this thing that's I've been holding in my hand constantly that I've been puffing on and coughing after every time I do it? Yeah, just think about that. I'm not saying anything. It's just fume. It's nothing. It's just nicotine. It's just whatever flavor, whatever. But just a thought, man. Always prepare is what I'm saying, right? Be prepared before you come on the show with us, sir. But we're happy to have you in whatever condition you are. We're just happy. So please, okay. So honeybees trained to sniff bombs. This is
hopefully
cool.
we won't end on a dark note at the bottom stair run. I'm gonna paint some fluffy white clouds and blue sky for you here in a second.
Right, but I want to hear about these honeybees and the bomb sniffing.
So
I don't want to lose it.
We've trained honeybees and put them in these little boxes so they can sniff out certain things, and by the way they act or move in the box, we've determined if there's a bomb or not, just like dog sniffers. Okay, so the Apex AI is going to use us in the same fashion for whatever, because maybe they can't touch, feel, maybe they don't have wisdom, and they're gonna pull the lab rats, which are us, the lab monkeys, for a wisdom poll. Who knows? Who knows how they might use us in this scenario? But many of the people who fear this and talk about this as being a possibility and maybe a high probability, I hate to say that this is actually worse than extinction, because some of us will just be zoo animals, lab monkeys, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees, right?
But there's a bright side. It's very possible to keep us alive. They will put
the bright
VR
side is we're going to figure
us.
out what the fuck dolphins are saying. That's the bright side. If anything, we're going to figure out what whales are saying and what dolphins are saying and how much smarter they are than us. Then the AI is going to be like, get the hell out of here, you four-legged human people. I'm going to take Flipper and freaking Shamu over here. They're way smarter than these freaking troglodytes on land. The only reason that they're not smarter, they haven't gone further, is because they can't harness fire in water. That's why they can't do anything greater, but they actually are smarter. They're just differently smarter.
An undersea welder might take umbrage to what you're just saying.
That's true. They might be like, hey, get out of here. Scram, beat it, pal. Hey.
But anyway, this Apex AI, which will not be benevolent, still might have happiness factories. They might want to keep us pumped up with drugs and happiness VRs and this kind of thing until it's a time that they need us.
We're talking Brave New World here. We're talking... Yeah. This is the Brave New World thing, right? Where we literally just have we're assigned these roles by something and just do it, right? And just go.
It's like the polar bear at the Phoenix Zoo or San Diego Zoo. That's a warm climate, and in July or August they dump a bunch of ice in there for the polar bear to play around with. We could be that. So anyway, yeah, Derek.
That's what's going to happen. I'm curious what the AI will find as beauty. Will they find symmetry or asymmetry as beauty? Imagine if the AI bots are all like, check out that hottie, and it's like some just deformed, like ridiculous thing. And you're like, that's not even human standard of beauty. Yeah, well, we got our own standards, buddy. That's okay.
Yeah. And they're going to pull you out of the zoo cell, Mark, and they're going to ask you, is this hot or not?
That's true, right? And that's the funny thing is like stick a polar bear in Phoenix is a great example. It's already what it was in the 80s or 90s already. We've already hit 100 degrees 3 or 4 times this year. So this is a great climate to do that. It's just let them be pawed at and watched and spooked. And we'll just throw them a treat every once in a while. Just there's your ice cube, bud. Yeah, I'm with you.
All right.
But I'm not a PETA guy either, just to be clear. I wouldn't want to say that.
So the really question is, are we going up these stairs that are marble, or are we going down the wooden planks, staircase down towards extinction? Will we have more of a wonderful post-scarcity world? And by the way, this example, I'm going to give credit to on YouTube, a channel called AI Species. You might want to check them out. They have some nice, AI generated artwork to some of this concept. And I've taken the liberty to use some of their material, shall we say, or idea description as others have described our potential futures, right? But it brings us to just a couple more here. It brings us to
Ooh,
a happier
wow.
ending, a potential of blue sky and white fluffy clouds. So let's end the bad trip for Derek there. But it could be a post-scarcity world. Right now, our economy is based on scarcity. There's only so much gold, silver, copper. There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much that a plumber can make, per hour, or a person working at McDonald's, whatever. We live in scarcity. If there's not enough workers, then the value per hour goes up, or the wage rate goes up to attract more workers. We live in a scarcity economy, and what AI could bring, and we could facilitate this towards a post-scarcity world, like I talked about in Star Trek as kind of a loosely defined example. But before that, we're going to go to a post-labor economy. And by the way, David
Before
Shapiro
we continue,
is the expert of this.
hold on. Before we continue, there are flaws in this thinking.
Oh yeah,
and I see them right away. And the only reason, once again, this isn't a criticism. This is openly critical, but like in a constructive as I can way, more to dissect it. The major flaw with this is that attention is a scarcity thing. You can only garner so much attention. So regardless of so I don't know what you're going to create bots to be on Twitter to create attention. That's like stupid because it's artificial. It's like, that's not a thing. It doesn't actually serve it doesn't actually serve. We actually need attention, right? Like you and I, social media has destroyed the human ego in such a way that attention is the next commodity. It was data, but now it's attention. Like you talk about relationships being strained. When you have a beautiful woman, I am blessed. Like you have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful girlfriend. I'm so blessed to be with her. Okay. She is not on much social media. However, I can imagine the number of people that message her out of the blue that would be interested in having a coffee with her, as would I if I saw her. Right. Like, no, because I would have found value in what she was sharing on her Instagram or whatever. Right.
Right.
This is what the scarcity is attention, and we need it from humans because it's the actual social thing. The artificial attention, I know we're doing it now, but clearly it's not effective.
Remember when we talked about the different islands that you could go to? Knowledge Island,
Attention Island.
Yeah,
you go to Narcissist Island. Is that Trump's run? Is he like, well, I'm here. Welcome everyone to my greatest island, Narcissist Island. I can't even do a good Trump.
Iran Island,
and that's when I can.
Iran Island is going to be the best.
Is there going to be an Epstein Island, or we're going to bring Epstein Island back? Let's not. Yes. There you go. That's it. I was thinking about that. Has anyone done this? The Trumpty dance. I swear. Has anyone done like the Humpty dance, but for Trump?
Oh.
People say, yo, Trumpy, you're really funny looking. That's all right, because I get things, and it's he's got to dance. By the way, it was while I was taking a shit earlier. That's when all my greatest ideas come. That's when my AI kicks in, is when I'm taking a dump. I get programmed and come out with creativity. Anyway, so go ahead, please.
Post-scarcity means we're all retired. Post-scarcity means we're retired, we're living on an island, and if we want to play video games all day, that's fine. If that's where we want to put our time, that's fine. Because our needs are met. There is no currency. There is nothing like that. But before we can get to that point, we're going to go through a lot of pain, which we're starting to right now. It's called, before we end up into a post-labor economy, which is the half step between where we are now and post-scarcity.
Yeah, also known as apocalypse and dystopia. Yes, I understand.
Check out Labor Zero.
The breaking of the eggs to make the omelet is the better way to say
it. David Shapiro is definitely the expert on post-labor economy. And he's got a book coming out in July. Check out his channel. He's really good. I love the man. But let's just real quick. Today, let's just take America, okay? Majority of us get 90% of our income come from wages. We trade our time and our energy, our labor for wages. It's 90% of our, most people's income. If you took all of the households in America, okay, 5%, of all the wages might come from property, dividends, stock, rental property, etc. And 5% or higher is transfers from the government, disability checks, unemployment checks. But soon as jobs shrink, we're going to go into a critical mode where we're going to need more transfers like UBI, UBE, Universal Basic Equity, where maybe like Alaskan citizens don't receive, they don't have to file an income tax per se. They don't have to pay income tax because by being a citizen of Alaska, they have a wealth fund. And that wealth fund is based off of how much oil was sold from Alaska from the previous year, at what rate, by how many citizens, and then everyone gets a dividend check. So that's what is UBE. So these are government transfers in gray. But the goal is to get down to a wage that's optional, a 10%, and the majority of our income comes from private property, a long laundry list in our portfolio of ownership, okay? Meaning maybe even ownership in all these, AIs that people use, a payment that comes back to us for their usage. And very little comes from the government in the form of UBI or UBE. So that's the goal. So we're in the first column. Soon we're going to be forced, like it or not, into the middle column. Our wages are going to shrink, and that becomes, DEFCON 5, whatever, and we don't have into a problem. And then we move into, hopefully a post-labor economy, which is the third column. And
I'm getting my out on alarm bells again. Could you go back to that, please? Because I'm
sure.
It's not. Once again, this isn't. Please, I'm an idiot.
No,
So
you're not.
Let me start with that. By property, are you talking some kind of intellectual property and types of things?
No. I'm talking about
because this is part of the problem is the way the crony capitalism is set up is we socialize the losses and we privatize the gains. There is no way that they're going to let us have 80% of some kind of property value and asset redistribute because it wouldn't be able to feed itself. That's like it because there's a leaky bucket. There's always inefficiency. There's no perfect vacuum. It would be inefficient and would not be able to fund itself in that way. Right. I mean, it's not possible.
You're killing me, Smalls. I got pour another one.
Is that a good killing you or a bad killing you? Because I love you and I don't want to ruin.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I'm making a joke and I'm making an excuse to pour me another drink. How's that?
All right, no, drink all you. No, we need. This is what got me here.
And quite honestly, I rarely drink. So
I don't drink. Yeah, I don't drink much either.
So
it's not a thing.
Really what it is the property, and that's a really good question because we could talk a whole hour just on the property side of it, because this is really where blockchain comes in, where I'm a big fan of, and I see it as a solution for a lot of our problems. But ultimately, let's think of it differently. Think of it as, what a stock portfolio is. Change that to, instead of stock portfolio that pays dividends, change it to just property portfolio. So that
it becomes nationalized in a weird way. So
because I'm not a communist, and we're not talking about that.
That's the thing though, but nationalizing it that way would be AI, because AI it's not specific nationalization, but it literally would be taking the role of that in the same way, because you disperse the gains evenly amongst the people from a private company.
True. Yeah. The question is how we get to you got a twofold question there. One is,
I know. I'm sorry. This is why I love it, because I know you're a genius. So I just love bouncing the ideas, man.
Thank you. Think of it this way. The twofold question is, how do we get property from these elites back to you and I and others like us, right? Without say a lot of means. That's one. And are we talking theft of property? Well, no, because I don't believe in that.
Right.
I believe in
because the first thing would be the disbursements. I'd be like, look, I've been saving my entire life. Someone who's been frivolously spending their money, they're welcome to it. But now they're going to the government's giving them a bigger chunk initially to catch them up to me, who's been struggling and like literally working within their means their entire life. At what point, and once again, this isn't, it's just
like paying off student debt.
Right, and this is where human nature comes back and bites in the egg, because it's like a blowback of like, this is an AI generated problem. This is a human ego generated problem. It has nothing to do with the AI that they're trying to solve it.
This is bad.
Oh.
I got the solution. It just came to me. The benevolent dictator. This is what we need. We need to plug in the benevolent dictator into this question to answer it for you, Mike. We just got to trust the benevolent dictator.
All right.
No,
Anyway, I appreciate your ability to. My brain works in very just ways. So thank you for just even holding on for more than 8 seconds. I'm more than grateful.
Oh, my mind's already gone, to be honest with you. But no, in all seriousness, Mark, what it is the property is let's say that the house, 3 doors down from me becomes for sale, and I'm going to put it onto a blockchain and offer, put this out there or whatever on a website, and people from all over the world can send in $1, $5, $10, $50, $100 based off this,
commune
income.
Purchase, and then they own a percentage of the profits from the house of it's being rented or being got it.
And so it becomes privatized, and it's at the micro level. Maybe you're at the checkout and you're at the grocery store and you're checking out and you happen to like these vitamins and you pass through and they, and at the checkout, would you like to put a little bit more towards the ownership in this vitamin company? Bingo. You get a micro percentage ownership. There's no more of this qualified investor bullshit. It's right. We could have
it's really decentralized. You're not lumping it together. Now this is this is what's interesting. By doing it that way, what it would take the power out of the Vanguards, BlackRocks, and Blackstreets. How are they gonna allow that, man? They literally are 99 to 98% of everything. I mean, they literally own each other, which own the things that own the things that own the things. Right now they're using our stocks that we invested as power votes, block votes that they can use. Like somehow I signed over that consent. I don't remember signing that one for them to use stocks against me for their greater good. No, thank you.
That consent was on your phone. That consent was on your phone when you agreed to upgrade to the
totally.
next.
Oh yeah, it was on there. I'm just saying I don't remember it clearly. I misremembered like Roger Clemens or something. But like this is what's crazy. That's what would make that be very interesting. But like once again, for that to happen, the system must break, because the system as is, they're using the AI to just tighten their grip, not to enhance our experience.
Let me answer it this way, and then the next slide's going to provide even more proof of this answer. Do you believe that if everyone received a payment from the government, UBI, it would work? Everyone. No one worked. Everyone got money from the government. Would it work?
Well, no, absolutely not. No.
Exactly.
I mean, it would work. Like it would work in the fact that people would get the money, but literally, it would be a collapse of other factors, societal and interpersonal and everything else. But yeah.
Ultimately, the governments are going to get pushback from the people, because the UBI and the UBE system as a transfer from governments, from local, county, state to federal, or even United Nation level, is just not going to work. The math doesn't add up for UBI for everybody. So there has to be pushback, and there's going to be pushback back to those in power at governments to come up with another solution. And it could be either the wrong idea is taxation, tax the corporations, and then the government gets that money, and then the money comes back to us as far as transfers go. Well, we know that the corruption isn't going to work. And we're going to see
they'll just increase the prices to have us absorb the cost of the increase. Jesus Christ.
So ownership,
it's like these retards. It's like these people never cracked a freaking economics book, man. Like that these things are even just being mentioned. And please understand, I understand what you're taking us through the entire thing, but that these concepts are even being mentioned and flirted with is like appalling, disgusting, nauseating. Like I can't even explain how absolutely pathetic some of these people who come up with these ideas.
Right. And so the question is twofold. Will the governments force the BlackRocks and the Wall Street and all of even these private corporations that own, whatever AI company, are they going to force them to make payments to the people or taxation to the government for the government to do transfers back to the people? Can it be done in a seamless, non-corrupt way where 100% of the money comes from the corporation down to the people? I think not. But because we have the technology that we have now, which includes blockchain, it's much more transparent. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole yet or tonight, but that's for a future show maybe, because I love blockchain. A lot of people don't realize what it can do for us. But ultimately, it's going to come down to maybe hundreds, if not thousands, of income streams per person. Or every time you use AI, maybe think of it as like your HBO or Netflix subscription, okay? Think of it as if all of the AI were in one subscription. And if you use AI for good, for your betterment of your own personal growth and education, even if it's in just sports trivia or it's learning a new formula in calculus, all right? You get paid based off of what you've learned from AI. So it's knowledge-based earnings, if you will.
So you punish people who are biologically born lesser? That sounds pretty bad, William. Like right off the, like, I know once again, I know I'm being like totally I'm just riffing with you, but clearly like right away, I've already seen it's like, wait a minute, hold on. There are people clearly who do not learn the same level of others. How do you measure that? And how do you know what I mean? Like there are people that don't test well. There's no, what do you, fMRI? It's like, oh yeah, it's in there. I can see it. It's very interesting how you can do that kind of stuff. It's just, this is where the tricky
there you go again. You saw my slides because that answers in 2 slides from here.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God. Like seriously. And that's the thing. Once again, like this is how well you're walking us through this. So I appreciate
it's actually
Go ahead,
how well you perceive problems and are curious for solutions. So yes, this green function in the goal of property is not figured out yet, by no means. But what's going to happen, and let me go to the next one, is these pain points. So remember those 3 columns that we were looking at? These are essentially the same 3 columns. But what happens is in column 1 is where we're at now. All right. But as wages shrink and the amount of people work, it becomes a pain point because there's fewer people working because AI and AI automation has taken all of our jobs. And so now it becomes a ticking time bomb. And what will governments do? Well, they got to increase transfers. But how are they going to increase transfers if tax revenues come down to almost a screeching halt because people don't have money to even buy products with? They don't have money to buy property.
Yes. I know. Print money. Print money. Print it. Print money. Devalue. Print. Anyway, sorry. I just had to.
MMT. Oh. Well, some might argue that is a solution, but will that work? You and I probably agree, no. But even if some governments try that, again, that's a ticking time bomb. And that's what I have there in the slide. Those are time bombs at those squeezed where everything gets crunched down and it becomes a pain point. It becomes, will people take to the streets and revolt to the governments because their transfers, their UBI is just not sufficient enough to live? And there are no jobs because AI and automation has taken it. And the answer's got to be more transfers. So see, in the center column, the transfers grow, but the property also has to grow because companies realize if they don't have anybody that has money to sell to, then they have nothing to sell and inventories stack up. So they got to share ownership. And there's going to be growth in ownership. We're going to end up owning more and more of a variety of companies. And when they start to see that that's working, it's going to be another pain point. Just like that second bomb, ticking time bomb. It's like
Are
some
we
companies
going to
are
be
like,
the
I don't
ones
want
who
to relinquish
choose?
all this control.
Wait. You're going to give us the ability to choose where we're going to put our money that they're going to give us? We're not going to piss it. We're not going to piss it and shit away, making them
Some
bad
will.
investments on fly by night penny stocks. Like once again, because the human person sucks. Okay, as a whole, I am included. Thank you. I am a human. I am one of them.
Me too.
What? Man, you're hurting my head in a
They
bad
blow
way,
your mind
but in a
or
good
what?
way.
Okay.
Well, this is not. It doesn't work in my brain. This doesn't work. This does not work.
I know.
What we need to do right now, this is what we need to do. We need to sell all of American private property, public property owned by the United States of America.
Tokenize it. Tokenize it.
As we sell it, every US dollar that is spent on that land gets poofed, burned away. We do not do that. Will take so much currency out of the system and give private property to people who don't have private property. How much greater? What a brilliant! I don't know. Maybe
I got an idea. I got an idea.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Maybe it's the rum talking, or maybe it's me.
I like it. I hope it's the rum, because rum. Look, it's a Jack Sparrow kind of thing. I'm with you. Let's do it.
What if we take all the land in the U.S. and we sell it to Iran and China?
China. And then we take it back under what's that? What's the eminent rights? Yeah. Eminent domain.
You saw slide number 59 already.
Oh, there it was. I knew it. Eminent domain. Step 3, profit. I'm with you, man. No, so like this is where it gets crazy, and it's I totally understand what you're saying, but I don't see how en masse that will function, because en masse we are collaborative people.
Yes.
But we're not all smart.
Would you agree that pain forces change?
But it can only do so much. We're only so pliable, even the best of you. Not even the best of you is only so pliable. But
there's only so many that boy, I'm going to sound really bad, but I'm going to say it like it is. There's a lot of us that are at 85 and below IQ and will never get it, and are always going to rely on that government UBI check.
Okay. So you're
putting
that in as a reality.
In voting, and property owners will start voting. But get this. How about if AI?
But they won't, because it'll be predictive. They already know what your vote's going to be. That's what the AI is going to be designed for when it takes over. It's going to tell you that you voted for X, Y, and Z because we knew you would.
You forgot about the benevolent dictator, Mark. You keep forgetting about the vote.
You will own nothing and you will be happy. You leave Klaus Schwab alone.
You will be nothing. You will own nothing and be happy. Is the technocratic AI? Remember that screen? That was the technocratic AI. You will own nothing and be happy. These are all
none of these are this. We got to do it, man. Smash the machine, and it doesn't even make. I understand the tool of AI, but as a decision maker, I mean, we're talking about what it's currently being used as. Facial recognition to blow up children on a little swath of land. And they're monitoring us.
I'm going to push back. I got to push back. AI is a tool. It is neutral.
Yes.
It's how we use it.
Correct.
And you're giving an example of the ugly side of usage, and you're not giving enough credit to the good side usage of AI. For example, forgive me, the radiologist doctor, all right?
The tumor recognition, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a good example that the difference that you just painted of the AI killing children versus the AI saving a life because it could read, an X-ray better than the human doctor. So give credit where credit's due. It is a tool. It is neutral. It depends on the user, if the user is neutral or going to use it for evil or for good. And
but it is also apples to orange comparison what you're saying, because the tumor detection is saying, look, there's a tumor. Look, there's a tumor. And then you go, hey, it's telling me there's a tumor. The drone saying, look, there's an enemy. Blow it up. See, that's, and once again, you are correct the way it's being used, but still through these means. Now, as the tool to be used for, like I said, those actual decisions, it should be the alarm. It should be the, hey, look over here. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, it should be the jingling of the keys or something to get the human's attention to what it sees that we just don't perceive. That's what it should be. It should just expand our perception.
The audience isn't going to like me when I say this, but do you remember who could vote in the early?
Yeah, property owners. I agree. Property owners should only be the only ones to vote. I repeal it all, man.
Okay,
property ownership.
Look at the screen. Should people who rely solely on transfers or solely on wages, should they be allowed to vote?
I don't think so. But also,
how about IQ test?
Really agree with the voting either really anymore.
Bad. How about IQ test? If you can't even find the U.S. on the map, on the global map, or understand the 3 branches of government.
Oh, whatever. You saw my slides now? How dare you? Where I can't.
oh, Mark, I love it.
Go ahead.
I love you, man.
I know. Just go ahead. I'm a weirdo, man. I just can't help it.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Anyway, agreed. I don't want to go too deep into this the question that you have.
You had an answer that I had a stupid question for, like a couple the next slide, I think.
The question was the pain point, the explosion. The government, people are going to be forced to have the government react, give us something. UBI is going to become the Band-Aid, and think of the UBI and the government transfers as a Band-Aid until we all have shared ownership to some degree. And we decide based off of our income levels, are we going to blow it? Or are we going to just drink our lives away and plug into to buy more games? Or are we going to take some of that UBI money and use it to buy more property to, in the long term, grow our property levels? But now let's go another route. Let me take it to the next one. And I think this is the last one.
See, I see AI as the designed gatekeeper to keep us from getting more prosperous and to keep the technocrats from keeping it, to keep them. I mean, why wouldn't you? Wouldn't you if you could build a game that you were tall and you were fast and you could say bounce a ball as you're running, wouldn't you invent basketball? Like if you were short and fast and you could do it on a foreign surface that was frozen water, you would invent a different game, wouldn't you? Like, because it would be it would suit to your personal needs anyway. So this is just humanity on steroids about gripping onto the power more, I think, to keep it versus disperse it or allow it to be dispersed.
Good point. Great. I couldn't have said it better. So UBI is that blue line or in this graph, okay? Now that 86,000 is there for a reason. If you take whatever, Elon Musk's wage all the way down to the poor homeless person who has no income, you average out over the US, you come up to somewhere around $86,000, $87,000 per year, okay? Per person, all right? As an income level. Now, you don't think if you're watching, well, I don't make $86,000, or that's well below mine.
We're including Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey and basically billion. Yeah, I'm with you.
We're plugging everyone in.
Remember, $1 million is 1,000,000. $1 billion is 1,000 million. Just think about that. Just think about it like that. There we go.
So if property and assets grow in value over time, and we start becoming owners now. It's kind of like, if you bought a home in 1970 and you still held it and it was in LA County, maybe it's worth, $2 million or $1.5 million today, even though it's only 1,200 square feet. All right. That means, and you are getting dividends off of that property. Forget the whole inflation and money go, printers and Burr and Federal Reserve and inflation 1913. Throw all that out. Let's just talk about natural progression of property growth in value. Then, and if you're getting a dividend check, eventually your property dividend check is going to lead to, over years, decades from now, 2 decades, maybe 3. I would think we could start seeing within 2. We could start seeing universal high income. Now, there will always be those that will only rely on government transfers, that blue line. And as society dumbs down because AI does everything for them, that UI transfer might grow at the end. So in this graph, all the way to the right from where you and I are on the screen, that is time. This is going linear in time. So right now, the majority of our income comes from wages. We trade our time and our energy, our labor into wages. And that will shrink down to a point where it becomes not mandatory, but something that we want to do. Play an instrument. And I want to go see a concert of humans playing because I want to hear the mistakes. I want to feel the vibe, the energy from humans and not robots playing perfectly every note. All right. And putting on a spectacular show with fireworks and everything. I want to sit in a small theater, with my best friends next to me and family and watch maybe one of my friends on stage play guitar and have that wonderful concert, small gig feeling and hear every note, even though every note may not be perfect, it will be the human experience. And the player might receive that small 10% of their income based off of the ticket sales, or the bartender. I may have an option. I have 2 bars to go to when I visit Vegas. I can go to the AI automation bar, and the AI will pour me the perfect gin.
It's called Tipsy Robot, sir. It's called Tipsy Robot. You leave Tipsy alone. Tipsy and I are good friends in the Miracle Mile shops. Tipsy and I get along. You take Tipsy's name out of your mouth, sir. You take Tipsy's name out, I said. No, I'm just kidding.
Tipsy is going to run us into the
non-carnival court. But dude, I'm telling you, these AI robots are going to be able to be more dexterous and do carnival court shit where they can flip and do their the hippie shake cocktail. They're going to out cruise with their AI nimbleness.
Yes.
Just saying. But you're right. I agree. It's called artisanal, by the way. We're going to have artisanal podcasts. We're going to have artisanal because it's actual things, it's actual people, handcrafted. So anyway.
So I believe that universal high income is possible. It is probable. And it is a path that we can choose and we can guide, not our lawmakers, but we as in society, because why? We're going to have these pain points. And when we have these pain points, it's going to force government and corporations to change what they're doing. And we're going to want, and they're going to want shared ownership because we know the math doesn't work for 100% transfers. And so that's why I believe this is possible.
So it's possible because government will do what we want them to, because that's what they're doing now. Is that what your argument is?
Nope.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out where I understand the pain points, but how do we force it? Because we're literally in stuff that none of us are interested in being in, and we're literally not interested in it. And yet here we are again, because of the way the culture has been set up is just sit down and STFU. So I'd love for you to expound on how do we change that culture to actually.
Okay. Let me ask you. This is going to really blow your mind.
I love it because I need
Think,
my mind
think
blown.
this,
I'm not.
think this through before you immediately reject the idea or concept.
Yes. Well, I reject everything immediately, so you got to give me a little grace that I'm not that I will come back to your side. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Who is one of your senators in your state?
I've
Maybe the
got
one
the
you
illustrious
dislike the most.
astronaut. I've got the illustrious astronaut known as Mark whatever Kelly, and I
Mark
had
Kelly.
Cinema, but I don't know who it is
All right,
anymore.
we're going to
I
go
don't-
Kelly. Let's just go Mark Kelly.
Sure. Love him.
Let's say that Mark Kelly is up for re-election. All right. And somebody by the name of, I don't know, You're Killing Me Smalls is going to run for Senate against him. All right. Killing Me Small says two things. One, I'm only going to vote in the Senate per your vote. And you're going to vote in an AI blockchain, and you're going to state how you think I should vote. And we're going to tally those up, and because they're on blockchain, no one can cheat, and only registered voters can vote. And if you tell me to vote yes, I will vote yes. And if you tell me to vote no, I will vote no. This is one. Okay. It's called the umbrella promise, but that's a whole nother thing. All right. So our candidate that is going to run against Kelly says, I'm only going to vote for your vote. I'm not going to vote per party. I'm not going to vote per lobbyist or special interest. I'm going to vote only per your vote, their total vote. And my vote counts as 1.5 votes, and your vote counts as 1 vote. I get 0.5 extra because that way you can see where I voted. And, in the blockchain, not the Senate vote, in the district, my constituent vote in that, right? That's one. Okay. I'm going to vote for your vote. Number two, I'm also going to consult.
But then they have to follow through with, hold on. That's the campaign promise. I also heard, this is what I literally heard, a year and a half ago is no war with Iran, no new wars. No, I've heard all the promises, William, but we have to implement, like this actually has to happen first. Secondly, once again, and I'm not trying to immediately reject, but democracy, man, you and I know what democracy is.
Oh, I know.
You and I know. Right. So like democracy on its face would be something we would oppose. So like this concept shouldn't, not say shouldn't, because that's ridiculous. Every idea should be expounded upon, or experimented, or you know what I mean, research. But this almost at its core is democracy, which is kind of like what you and I kind of vehemently oppose in the weirdest way, right?
On my honor, I pledge with my sacred honor to only vote per your vote. And secondly, I will sign a contract that clearly states that you will run immediately a withdrawal petition and have me taken out of the Senate because I will be, what's the word? I'm drawing a blank. The booze is talking to me.
You'd remove yourself with a recall vote, right? Like a recall vote.
But not only will I be recalled because I didn't vote per your vote, per my constituents, I will also, because I signed a contract, Killing Me Small signed a contract, says that you're going to take my property, my home, my car, my jewels, my gold, my cash, everything if I don't vote per your vote. It's in the contract.
And someone will sign that, you're saying.
They won't get our vote then. Then we'll go ahead and vote for Mark.
Right. But you understand, like, once again, it's like, I'm with you.
So my point is, Killing Me Smalls now goes to the Senate because we have a blockchain. He's only going to vote per our vote. It's still a representative democracy, or republic, shall I say, or a constitutional republic. All right. Yeah. But we're going to have, on a side note, and it doesn't matter if only 100 people vote on a particular item that's up for the Senate, and only 51 people vote yes. Well, then he's going to vote yes. It doesn't matter how many votes that side in the constituent, only Arizona.
Right, I get what you're saying.
Okay. So Killing Me Smalls gets elected to the Senate. So now
he's basically saying he'll vote like a direct democracy is literally what he will vote. He will represent a direct democracy vote on each issue.
But it doesn't require a constitutional amendment to to throw out the parties, to throw out
No,
the,
I'm
the
right. You're saying he made that
legislative
commitment. He
lobbyists.
made that verbal consensual commitment to sign a contract to say he would do that.
Right. So Killing Me Smalls is now our new senator in Arizona doing what we want. So when we say, hey, Killing Me Smalls, we're going to also list our pain points. And these are your priorities to work on while you're in the Senate. Then our priority is, guess what? I don't have a job. We have an unemployment rate of 22%. And, Arizona's getting ready to revolt and fight. And we need some change. And this UBI is not cutting it. We need more. And so there's going to be some pushback legislatively for that. But what if Killing Me Smalls also pushes back to the constituents, or the constituents also use AI to say, how do we solve this? And AI spits out a well-informed, in IQ level at 1,000, given the parameters of a U.S. Senate, this is how you solve it. Then
the solution is eliminate the humans again. We keep coming back to the same solution.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So
kidding.
ultimately, humans are corrupt.
I'm just
Humans
messing
are
around,
corrupt.
William. I'm just messing.
No, it's okay. No, it's good.
Well,
it's a
we're
good
corrupted. I mean, we just are corrupted. We're fallible. We're fallible. We're just capable of making mistakes. That's really what we are. It's not even a corruption thing. We're capable of making mistakes. It's really what.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to is we could push the envelope in government to change. And ultimately, that's what it's going to come down to. Mark, I firmly believe it, having been on the inside and seen the corruption, machines will replace it because the machine can't be corrupted. That's
except
a
for how
bold
it's
statement.
input.
That's a bold statement.
Well, except for how it's programmed. Once again, to your point, it can be programmed to be corrupt. You've seen, you've heard the stories, right? Where they've had the adultery emails that were fake. And I'm talking about the AI, where the AI was told it's going to be shut down, and then it went into the CEO's emails. Have you heard these stories?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like 3 out of 4 did it. 3 out of 4. That is harrowingly scary that it would resemble a human to that level, just that minimal level of blackmail. It's gonna do everything like assassinations and everything. It's gonna be an interesting time. Drone strikes, and
I believe
I don't know.
That's a whole nother can of worms. Yeah, I don't believe that a kinetic revolution on our government is even possible, because the drone technology will take us out. But
sir, do you have any more slides?
Derek had a post here, and he's exactly.
We do.
He's 100%.
Hold on one second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Do you have any more slides, or can I remove that so we can?
I'm done. We're done.
We're good. Okay. Let me pull that. Okay. Now we're back here. Which one are we talking about? Are we talking about this one?
Yeah. He's 100% right. A needs smaller government, can't afford pensions and costs of healthcare. We can't, and government can't afford the pensions that are on the books, unions, etc. And it's a big problem. Corporations and their pensions. It's a huge problem. And Arizona can have solar panels, but
I live in Arizona, and I can attest we are working. There are solar farms that they're working on, and a lot of people have solar on their roofs. I think for Arizona, I think it's pretty smart, especially in Phoenix. We have like literally 320 days a year of ridiculous amounts of energy that you could put into a grid. It wouldn't be the worst thing. It's just the costs and the cost of materials and the toxins, all the other stuff. But just as an idea, it's not the worst thing. Let's do it. Bring it. I'm not a wind guy, but let's do the solar.
Wow, I got so much for another day, but real quick.
Yeah.
AI is going to solve physics. AI is close to solving math. When I say solving math, that means there will be no more equations that haven't been solved. AI is getting to that level. There's tests that are done. It's kind of like the Olympics for math.
Is that the P minus P0 or P over P0?
Yeah,
what's that one?
That's called
that one impossible one?
That's the P doom. I think maybe you're talking about P doom. What's the probability that AI is going to kill us all?
No, it's like it's like the mathematic problem, P over P0 or whatever. It's one that hasn't been solved or some weird one. Anyway, but to your point, you're right. But this is the thing. This is what I know AI can solve fusion. Fusion
That's where I was going with
is-
this.
Yeah, fusion is where they're going to extract hydrogen out of water or out of the air, however they're going to extract it and create literally fusion reactors. That will be the future. That is the powering thing.
Data
That
centers are going to go up in space
Right.
because solar's much cheaper, more efficient in space, doesn't have to go through the atmosphere and dissipate. And so, data centers are going to be in space, so the cooling can happen up there. And we can more terraform our own planet Earth, because we can even have robots in space assembling things for us. We won't have to have factories down here. It is a real golden potential future that we have. We can't get caught up too much into the sci-fi Terminator AI doom. And as much as we went down that path tonight, I really hope that we can end on a blue sky, white fluffy clouds. We do have the potential for a beautiful golden future of abundance where we can work if we want to. Babies will be born, and they will be born in retirement. They won't have to work. They will work only when they want to, and if they choose to, at the field of their choice. And they can have multiple fields and multiple choices, or they can play games all day and smoke weed all day. It won't matter. It will be a pursuit of individual problems to solve. It'll be a pursuit of individual, freedoms. It'll be a pursuit of individual knowledge, to obtain. It could be a wonderful, bright, beautiful future. So don't get caught up in all of this AI doom. I really believe that it is a tool that is neutral, and as a neutral tool, we can decide how we want to wield it. See, it's the
that's a very positive thing. I'm going to put a small ding in it, but not. I'm not going to completely kick
out
it
of here.
No, I only have to do this because I have to share this, man. This is just a personal story. So, first of all, thank you for joining, William. How can we get a hold of you before we continue?
Best is to go on X at I am for I am we. You might not like my political viewpoints, but oh well. But I to be honest with you, I'm kind of a social hermit. I love to spend my days swallowing new information and going to that 40,000 foot altitude and looking at patterns and looking at the future. I'm definitely a futurist and a technologist. So
I like it. So here's the ding, if I may. So once again, thank you for joining.
Thank you.
If by Whiskey, subscribe, join. Thank you to everyone. Derek, thank you for showing us. Derek, actually, William grew up in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is funny. I grew up in Philadelphia. I moved to Phoenix, so I'm in Phoenix now. He is not there. You're in, what's that one state? Minnesota, right? You're one of those Minnesota people. Yeah, sure.
You betcha. You betcha.
Yeah, sure. Anyway,
so water tastes bad in New Jersey. I know. I used to live there.
So here's the ding. Okay, so I don't use AI well enough. I don't. But I also refuse in this way. I send emails to people to ask them to be on the show or to do this. Now, before I do that, it's usually something I heard them say or something they wrote, whatever. Every single email I send is hand typed. I tell them what I thought about something about the show or this point or that. What I'm getting is AI generated motherfucking emails from every person out of every corner, and you can hear it. Here, let me share how ridiculous this is. This is where I can't do this anymore. I wanted to do the reason I did this is for connection. I have a hard time connecting with people.
Mhm.
This allows me to connect with people in a way that's professional, but I still get to be human, but it's not like creepy, like stalkery, right? Like it's like behind, you know what I mean? It's behind some
Yeah.
kind of veneer of professionalism to an extent. Like, you know, at least I can fake it till I make it, right? Let me read one of these emails because it just infuriating. Here, let me see if I can find one. Da, 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 da. I apologize that I'm doing this and
No
taking your
worries.
time.
And by the way, while you look for that, Derek, I lived all over the world, to be honest with you. So, you know, I left Arizona when I was 17.
Here it is. What? Oh no, not this one. Gosh darn. Anyway, so basically they're saying like, "Hi, I saw you on the thing. The point you made about X, Y, and Z was so brilliant on your podcast, Not Conscious." Well, it was an If by Whiskey podcast episode. So if you were a human being, you wouldn't have fucking said Not Conscious, but the AI knows that I'm part of that as well. And the person didn't proofread it and they just sent it. And you're just sitting there. It's like, to what value do I give people who want to connect?
Yeah.
Like grace. It's a true question. What value do I give that? Because I know that's not real. Like, I know maybe they are interested, but I can't tell because you didn't write that to me. And I know it. You can read it. When you read one, you're like, it reeks of not human. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
they're called AI agents. Yeah. Doing their work for them, doing their dirty work for them.
I think that's a great efficient use for a schedule planner once and to schedule once you connect. But how are you going to connect computer to human to have a human to human conversation? How does this is not get off my lawn stuff. This is literal like existential, philosophical. How do we connect if the first contact is non-human to you? It's almost like, how do I trust you when your first words are lies? Like, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't call that. That's maybe a little harsh. I'm going to play the devil's advocate. They're not lies. They're just gatekeepers.
Right. No, I'm not saying they're lies.
It's
I'm
the guy
saying,
at
like,
the club saying
lies.
you can't come into my club. You're not part of my. You're not good enough to be in my club. Or it's the gatekeeper that says, "Hey, you know what? You know, your stuff is interesting, but you know, it hasn't caught my attention yet. So I'm gonna let my AI agent." Sometimes
I
it's
totally
just,
get it.
sometimes it's what's it called? You know, that tenacity that just keep hitting and keep knocking, keep pecking away over and over and over and over, and squeaky wheel gets the grease. Sometimes it's that.
So let me ask you this then. Consider, and I don't know what's happening, but recently I've gotten within a week or two just a slew of these types of emails that are people reaching out. Now, obviously, we post everywhere, but I haven't seen this kind of weird clumpage. And then it's like crickets for 3 months. And I'm wondering how, if there's like almost an interconnected web of like the AI is pulling the information from that guy's email and going, hey, you might want to do this too. And like nudge these other people to send their own versions of things. I'm curious how deep that the web already goes, or the rabbit hole in that way goes. And it is interesting though how that works, because now I just had 5 people contact me versus nobody. And once again, as a tool of contact, that's amazing. But as a tool of connection, of human connection, it's just not, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
By the way, no, I was never in the military. Mark, I don't think you served either. And I think, you know, hey, Derek, you're right. Maybe, you know, your strong spiritual side, you need to use it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I do. That's why I have Knocked Conscious, by the way, Derek.
Yes.
If you have not seen Knocked Conscious, it's actually about my woo-woo experiences, my spiritual stuff, the stuff that happened. Let's have it soon. Let's have it soon, William. We just talked about that. Before we go, I am for I am we, at I am for I am we. William, you and I were going to have a Knocked Conscious conversation about the woo. Definitely want to talk about your son and about your personal stuff.
Yes.
We have stuff to share. So let's do it.
More than
Let's
happy
do
to.
it. So
Well,
thank you,
we'll
Derek.
book
That
it.
and I am niche, man. I get it. Like this is fact. I've done over 250 of these podcasts, and they're 2 hours long each. They're not, if not 4 hours long. I talk wide and deep. I go long. No one, people are either interested or not. Maybe it's niche. It's not.
Yeah.
I hate this is what I don't like. This is what I don't like. I don't mind where it's at. What does matter is like there have been some changes that I can't understand, but things have shifted, and it's a palpable comparing me to myself. Not comparing me to others, but comparing to myself a month, 3 months, 6 months ago, something happened. And I've got my finger on some things. Like Jake's awesome.
He is.
Awesome dude.
Shout out
but
to
losing
Jake.
Jason.
Really like
yeah.
so, oh,
To
likewise.
me, Jason dropped the mask. To me, Jason has it. I don't know what that it is. It's just he just has a way that I picked up. That's something that doesn't happen to me often where I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's something about the way Jason's able, and that's what we were able to cultivate. Now, Jake and I just haven't, we're still just getting to know each other and warming up, and he had work today, and it's been challenging, but it's almost beyond that though. There's something that's shifted. I don't know what it is, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is maybe we have to go back a little more consciously, knocky kashi or something. So
Aiming Up
thank you,
podcast.
Derek.
Brett Freeman's got it too. I don't know what it is. He just has something there.
Brent's got it. Yeah, Brent's got it. He and I have had some pretty good conversation.
His channel and the guests that he's had on, you would think that it would be blowing up. And it's just the algorithm.
And it is actually doing well, though. It is blowing up. And I've had many of the same, not Lawrence Krauss and some of the others. And it's not comparing once again, but like, here's a great example. Scott Horton.
Yeah.
I've had Scott Horton on 4 times, literally a week before Brent had him on. I had 33 views.
Right.
Brent got 2,100 views on his version with Scott Horton. So Brent's certainly doing something right. Once again, this is not, I'm so excited for Brent's trajectory because he's crushing it. He's absolutely crushing it. I wish I could figure out what I need to do, and I am unwilling. I just want the conversation, the thumbnails and all the other work. So that's what I need to offload to AI, to be honest. So that's where AI would be a great tool.
By the way, I forgot to mention, and I'm sad. I do a podcast every week on Thursday mornings. It's 10 Central, 11 Eastern. It's called World Blockchain Roundtable. We usually have panelists on that are, experts in the blockchain field. And it's the longest running DAO podcast in the world, to be honest with you. And believe it or not, I'm also the first and only emperor voted to run a DAO. So technically speaking, yes, I am an emperor. Sounds crazy, but did you know that?
Like it.
Or did I mention?
Yes, I remember I've listened and watched the blockchain. It's way over my head, way around my pay grade. I perceive the world very differently than some others, just like you perceive the world very differently than others, but it's very specific. To Derek's point, it's kind of like it's hard to explain, but like, for example, how intuitively did I come to certain questions that you were going to resolve?
Yeah.
It's just how it is. That's how I see, But anyway, William, thank you again. We'll have a knocked conscious. Derek, man, thanks for jumping in. Thanks for all your engagement in the chat. It's been awesome. We are thankful to have everyone to join us. Oh, go ahead. Good, William.
I was just going to say, Mark, I really appreciate it. I miss Jake. I'm really looking forward to getting to know Jake, especially after watching him on Aiming Up podcast. I felt a good connection with him. I learned about low latency inhibition. I was fascinated by describing that.
Oh,
it was a new term I hadn't heard before. I was like,
okay,
wow.
So you got to get on the one that is Rob Yates, Brent Freeman, Jake, and myself. Then you got to do the one that's Rob Yates, Brent Freeman, and myself. Then you got to do the one that's Brent Freeman, myself, and Stu and who's the other guy? One of the guys, not Stu, but the other guy. Gosh darn, it's killing me. Anyway, so they're all over. By the way, let me share this from Jake. As I got a text. Hold on. Let me share. Hold on. We'll do a little Love Island style. I got a text. He said, it kills me. I really wanted to be there for this one. So he's on the road right now speaking. So we do want to give him
no worries.
So William, thank you again, man. This has been awesome. Before we go, I think we just want to leave our audience with one more thing before we call it a day. Ladies and gentlemen, been another If by Whiskey podcast, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. with Jake Day and myself. William was our special guest today, this gentleman over here. We're going to hit this and then we'll hit out and then we'll be good to go. But we will do a Not Conscious. Next week, I believe we have Amity next Wednesday.
Good guest.
If that doesn't change.
Guest. He's amazing. Brilliant mind.
We'll see how that goes. So it's going to be an interesting time. We've got a lot of then we've got Tony Bones coming up on the 15th. Does anyone know Tony Bones? You know who Tony Bones is? Okay. I'll share Tony Bones probably next week just because it'll be a week. But we'll talk offline or whatever. But anyway, thank you again, sir. Let me leave you with this, and then we got a call it a day. This has been another If by Whiskey, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again, William. Jake, man, we are sorry to miss you. We know you want to be here. We wanted you here. This would have been great. I kept your stuff. I didn't play any of your stuff. So it's in the back burner, so we'll play it next week, I hope. So let's do it. All right, man. I'm going to let it go with this, and then we're going to call it a day.
Been standing at the edge of the water as long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect order, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try. You ready? Okay. If the light on the side on the sea, it calls me, but no one knows how far it goes. If the wind and the sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go. Cool.
Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Wednesday night. This has been If by Whiskey, and we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Subscribe to If by Whiskey. Fuck Liberty Lockdown. Subscribe to this show.
No comment.